Happy Samhain, the witch's new year, also known as Halloween. Samhain is a cross-quarter day on the wheel of the year, and the wheel of the year comes from the pagan and Wiccan traditions. The pagans and the Wiccans are earth worshippers, always acknowledging the cycles and the seasons of the earth. And as an earth worshipper myself, I really identify with their spiritual beliefs and philosophies. So Samhain is a time believed when the veils between our world and the worlds of other spirits and ancestors and the fairies have thinned. So when these veils are thinner, this is when the beliefs of the witches and the ghosts and the goblins come out on Halloween night, and they're needing treats to be bribed to not be so mischievous. This is where Halloween was born from and where trick-or-treating came from. So when these veils are thinned, it's a beautiful time to be communing with and honoring the dead. In a lot of the Samhain traditions, looking back and how it's still celebrated today, there's a lot of ritual and festivities around honoring the ancestors and deceased by making altars full of good foods and candles and photographs and etc. So because we're at the halfway point between the equinox and the solstice, this is the time that inaugurates winter, essentially. And it is the last opportunity, more or less, to go out and reap the harvest from the garden, to pull in all of the last resources in preparation for winter. So ways to really ritualize a little bit more around this time for yourself and in connection deeper with yourself is to ask yourself the question, what are you willing and wanting to let go of, to let die away, so you can go forth into winter with as much peace as possible? And how are you preparing for winter? What resources are you pulling in towards yourself? How are you nourishing yourself to your utmost potential so that you can endure this dark period and this hibernation period? Acknowledging death and honoring death is just as important as honoring and acknowledging life. It's really easy for us to kind of focus on life and spring and summer and flowers blooming, but this time of grand hibernation that we're about to go in is so beautiful in and of itself. And honoring these cycles as equals, as opposing poles pulling at each other, helps to build greater orientation with ourselves as human beings and in relation to these grander cycles and turns of life. So honor your ancestors, light a candle for them, celebrate the dead, howl to this big, beautiful, blue full moon, and bless your winter ahead.